this team doesn't have an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator at this point. We have seen in previous seasons where just by what Nick Saban has said, hey, we provide opportunities for tremendous coaches and we want them to move on in their careers. And we've seen the likes of Lane Kiffin and Kirby Smart do just that. Maybe a bit of a different situation this time involving Bill O'Brien and Pete Golding. But regardless, they're out, and there's much speculation as to who those guys are going to be that are going to fill those spots.
Well, Mark, I know the Alabama football fan base here in Tuscaloosa and around surrounding areas, it's like waiting for the results of a blood test. When is Coach Saban going to make the move? Why is he taking so long to do this? But in my opinion, I feel like Saban wants to get the right guy. He wants to get the correct guy that fits what he's trying to have happen here in terms of the program. So a lot of the speculation on the defensive side has been, is Jeremy Pruitt coming back? Is he the guy for the defensive coordinator position? And now I know Pruitt has the cloud of the recruiting violations that happened at Tennessee during his tenure over his head that you're trying to get cleared here with the NCAA. The question is, if Pruitt becomes the guy, does the NCAA hit him with a sanction? Does he hit him with the suspension? Does something happen with the Alabama football program? That's been a question there. Glenn Schumann's name has been thrown into the conversation in terms of, does Alabama get Glenn Schumann back in Tuscaloosa? He was once in T-Town as a graduate assistant from 2008 to 2014. 2015, he was a director of football operations before going to Georgia. There's conversation about, do you bring in Jim Leonard from Wisconsin, Jimmy Lake from Washington, formerly from Washington. A lot of names have been thrown in here, but the most one under speculation is Jeremy Pruitt. In terms of offensive coordinator, there's kind of two names that are kind of going neck and neck right now, from what I'm being told. That would be Jeff Lebby, who is currently in Oklahoma, and also that name again, Brian Johnson, who's with the Philadelphia Eagles. Those two names are kind of in the mix right now. Which one does Nick Saban pull remains the question. But Saban knows, with the momentum Kirby Smart's got going on there at Georgia, back-to-back national championships, their defense is playing with the bully mentality, and you took a Stetson Bennett, former walk-on quarterback, and you get back-to-back national championships with him. Saban knows there's a sense of urgency in Tuscaloosa, and I got to hit on these coaching hires that I'm about to make pretty soon here. So there's speculation involving Pruitt. There's speculation involving, is Jeff Lebby the guy? Is Brian Johnson the guy in terms of offensive coordinator? People in Tuscaloosa and surrounding areas here, Mark, just waiting on when the announcement can come here.
Hey, Stephen, in looking at early enrollees, I believe they're on campus, correct? Already ready to go, involved in winter workouts?
Absolutely. They're here.
I don't know that I've ever seen this number, Stephen. 28 signed for the class, 24 are early enrollees.
And Mark, these guys are hungry. I mean, this 2023 group, the hunger to me rivals Saban's first class in 2008. That's the hunger of this group. I mean, so many of them talk about, I want to reset the culture. I want to get on the field. I want to help this team get a national championship, whether it's offensive linemen that are in this class, a Miles McVay, a Caden Proctor, a Wilkin Formby. Well, these guys are talking, wanting to have that mentality, whether it's defensive backs like Tony Mitchell, Jaleel Hurley. They're talking, wanting to win championships, whether it's, running backs like Justice Haynes, Richard Young. They're talking that mindset, whether it's receivers like Juco, Malik Benson. Everybody that has enrolled early, these 24 names, they're saying, why not us? We're in here. We want to set this culture back right the way it needs to be done in Tuscaloosa. And I'm just excited for spring ball to see how many of these young men can actually have a role, whether it's as day one starters, whether it's as marquee contributors within the rotation, regardless of position. I'm excited for spring ball to get here.
These poor Iowa fans are saying, could you not have just left this one 5-star in Caden Proctor? We thought we had him, and now you guys have dozens of them, and you take him as well. Because Stephen, there are 5-star offensive tackles, which that's a rare commodity in and of itself. But what the things that I hear from scouting reports and other recruiting people about Caden Proctor is that he's even maybe a cut above that.
I'm going to say this. It's going to be very intriguing where he fits in his first season, Mark. I kind of have him as an offensive guard to start his career, and that's just due to, remember, Alex Netherwood came in top-rated tackle. Saban had him play guard his first year. Evan Neal, top-rated tackle. Saban had him play guard his first year. You look at both of those two guys, Caden Proctor, top-rated tackle, but I could see Nick Saban pulling the card again, starting him off as an offensive guard and then kicking him back out to his natural spot, which is tackle. If I had to put my finger on how this offensive line could look if the starting group to open spring ball, I could very well see it from left to right. J.C. Latham, Tyler Booker, Seth McLaughlin, Caden Proctor, and at right tackle, big Elijah Pritchett at 6'8", who would have played last year if not for a pectoral injury in summer workouts. He had to have surgery on that. So that would be my projected starting offensive line if I had to put my finger on it to open spring practice.
Traditional signing day coming up in a couple days, but with 28 signed in this class, is there any room for anyone else? Do you expect any other rumblings?
I think there's one name that Alabama would like to get, and I know a lot of the guys that have signed early are trying to get him. That would be 5-star defensive back Carmani McClain. That's the one guy that Richard Young, among others, they are chomping at the bit to get him to Tuscaloosa. A guy that's got all the tools of the tape. When you look at a 5-star defensive back, he's got the size, he's got the length, the range, the athleticism to be possibly a shutdown, knockdown corner. So that's the name that a lot of Alabama fans want to get in. That's the name that a lot of the early enrollees want to have in on campus, not be Carmani McClain.
Stephen, I don't think we've had a chance to talk to you since the early declarations for the NFL draft. The way that all played out, were there any surprises there? Anything of note in regards to, again, anybody that surprised you in regards to jumping to the NFL or coming back to Bama?
I think one name surprised me in terms of jumping to the NFL, and that would be Eli Ricks at corner. I wanted to see him come back for another season to really put forth more tape to the NFL scouts. I understand he had a really good freshman year at MSU in 2020, had the 4 interceptions, made the All-SEC freshman team and freshman All-America team. But, his second year, he missed 10 games because of a shoulder injury. So the scouts didn't really get that tape of growth in year 2. And in this past season, he did not get on the field as a starter until the Mississippi State game. So you have to wonder, what held him back until that moment right there. And then he decides to put his name in the draft hat, which nobody knows the socioeconomic situation in terms of, Ricks and his background. But, for me, I would have loved to have seen him come back, build up more tape, build more eyeballs on him, put forth more consistent play performances on the field to make himself a concrete first-round guy. As it stands right now, he may look more of a second-round guy. So that was, to me, my surprise of who went to the draft. My surprise of whom came back. I look at Will Reichert. I thought Reichert was going to go. I really thought Reichert was going to go after him having a perfect year as a kicker in 2020. Of his past season, had some big moments where he knocked down field goals. He is the all-time leader for career points in Alabama history. So I just thought Reichert was going to go. He put his name in the hat for the Senior Bowl, but decided to retract his name and come back for his senior year. Had conversations with his family, conversations with his fiance, now his wife. He recently got married a week or so back. So just really happy for Reichert to be back and looking forward to seeing how he finishes up or how he performs in his 5th season at Alabama.
And just to be clear about the Cormani McLean situation, of course, he is a hard commit to Colorado, but he had already been a hard commit to Miami and flipped at that point. So you're thinking that there's still a small possibility that Nick Saban's able to steal him back.
A small possibility, but when you're dealing with Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, best of luck to you. I mean, Deion can sell ice when ice come up.
There's no question about that. He's got some interesting things brewing there in Boulder. It's going to be intriguing to see how that all plays out.